Okay, you are live.
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to call the City of Akron Police Tow Review Board to order. First, the meeting, the minutes from the last meeting on June 14th have been distributed. Does anyone have any changes to those minutes?
I'd like to make an amendment to unfinished business.
Okay,
Where it states the clerk of courts is charging victims $15. I really think it should be stated the clerk of courts is collecting $15 from victims to get their, because we aren't charging it. It's in statute and we're just doing what we're instructed to do.
okay, yes, I do see that. Okay, we can make those changes to the minutes then. Terry, if you want to note that, and then we will redistribute those minutes and vote on them the next meeting then, once those changes are made.
Thank you.
So we will move on to the old business. And again, we'll get this language kind of cleared up. But as far as the $15 fee, we had that on as an old business. I think we were going to make a recommendation to council that this fee be struck. I seem to recall that Councilman Kamer wanted to speak on that item, but I don't see that he's present today. Has this still been an issue for, I mean, is this creating a problem if we keep this on the agenda for one more meeting, or do you guys want to vote to have it, to make that recommendation to council today?
This is Richard Decatur. Last meeting was my first meeting, so I'm not aware as to why that fee was being charged to begin with, and by what authority that fee was added to the fees that were already in place.
Captain Cozy, do you want to speak to that?
Sure. So, Rich, when they changed the ordinance to update it and to update the fees, a part of that update to the ordinances, or several portions of the ordinances, was to charge a $15 administrative fee on every single tow. And it was sort of a blind $15 fee. And what we discovered quickly, and it was caught by the folks that worked the information desk, was that we had victims of crimes. Good example is a stolen car, where car was located, it was towed, and then the victim is victimized again by being charged an extra $15 just because their car got stolen and towed. So the folks at the information desk caught it. We sort of intervened and waived that fee. The clerk's office has been great about it. It's a city cost. It's not something the police department charges, and is collected by the clerk of courts. But it was one of those things that we caught down there with Chris Lipa's group, where, why are we going to victimize a victim again with an extra $15? It's not a lot, but it's still something. So they have been waiving the fees on a case-by-case basis for victims of crime. And that was sort of one of our issues with this. And we were working with Donnie to try to amend the language of the ordinance so that it spoke directly to victims of crime on that. Did I explain that adequately, Rebecca and Chris?
That's my recollection.
Yeah, I'd also like to get rid of the tow fee altogether, because I feel like we're almost double charging for a parking infraction. When we tow a vehicle, we issue a parking citation. So they're already paying the city the citation fee, but then they have to pay the extra $15 on top of that as well.
And I will add in, I can tell you there's a lot of confusion. People pay the $15 tow fee and think they paid their parking fee. And we can do a lot of explaining, but it becomes very confusing to the person who was towed. And they end up with getting a fine and a late fee because they didn't pay their parking ticket, yet they thought they did because they came down and paid the tow fee.
And everyone thinks that the Akron Police Department's the one receiving this money, so they're not really happy with us either, so.
Okay.
Does that clarify things a bit? Richard?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. Who did the money?
You broke up a little bit, sir.
I'm sorry. Who does the money go to?
The city generally. It's collected by the clerk of courts on behalf of the city. We really don't. It's not coming to as a budget guy, I can tell you, it's not coming to us.
And it's not going into the clerk's office. So yeah, no, we
Right.
do pass it on to the city.
Yeah, it's just going into the general fund.
Okay. Thanks.
And I do think that for us to, it would be a recommendation of the board, or it would have to be to council to make that change, because it is in the code and there's not a lot we can do until the code is changed. So, as a group here, if that's our sense, then we need to advance that to council as a recommendation and then it's up to them to make the change.
My thoughts are that we keep this on the agenda for one more meeting, to see if we can get possibly Councilman Kamer here next meeting. I mean, because we are going to need somebody to speak, on behalf of this at council. So, my recommendation would be to keep it on the old business for one more meeting. And if we still don't have any resolution at that point, then I think that, we can discuss what our recommendation would actually be and we can move forward with that at our next meeting. Does anyone have any different thoughts about that?
I agree.
Okay. Anyone else?
I agree also.
I agree
Okay.
also.
I agree also.
Okay, so I'm going to make a motion to keep this on the old business agenda for one more meeting.
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Our next matter of business was the fee that Team Towing was charging for a processing fee. That was not permitted by the ordinance. I don't believe that I was there for the meeting that this was discussed. But as far as my understanding is that this happened once and that there was no hearing needed, and that Team Towing was going to reimburse the $25 fee. I do see Carol is on the meeting. Has this matter been resolved, or is this still an ongoing issue?
Carol, we can't hear you.
Okay, if she might be having audio problems. Have we heard anything in the police department about any other ongoing issues about this?
No, I believe we discussed it. This issue was resolved.
Okay. That was my understanding as well.
Carol should be unmuted now.
Okay, Carol, go ahead if you can. Okay, I'm still not getting any audio from her. Oh, go ahead, Carol. I think I just heard something.
Okay,
Oh, there you go.
okay, you can hear me.
Yes.
I don't know what was going on. I kept hitting unmute and it would say I was unmuted, but you couldn't hear me. We did that one time and it was right after we first started. And it was actually just in an incorrect column where it had processing fees, and we were, I think it was extra equipment fee was what the column it should have been in. So that it was just one time, and we have not, it's been resolved. So we haven't done that since then.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that update. So I will go ahead and make a motion to remove this matter from the old business agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
I
Aye.
Okay. Okay, we'll remove that item from the agenda. So moving on to our new business. The last meeting, I thought we had a report that all of the tow yards were inspected and that they had all passed. I believe that we discussed that should be provided to council. Has the inspections report been provided to council? Do we know?
I don't believe it has. I will have to check on that, but if not, I can work on that next week or so and get that over there. Send it
Okay.
over to you and you can.
Okay, that would be great. I think I believe that this was on our, like I said, that we discussed that at the last meeting. So yeah, Captain McCosy, if you want to work on that, we could just keep this on the agenda then and have an update just to confirm that it did get sent to council, since I believe that's the board's requirements. So we'll follow up on that at the next meeting. And this next item, I believe we also got a report on at the last meeting, that there was a hearing for the service times for Johnny's Towing. But as of the last meeting, my understanding was that they were in full compliance. Has there been any new issues?
Since our last meeting, I have not gotten a complaint on any tow company at all, so.
Okay, so
That's great.
Thank you. I'm gonna move to have this item removed from the agenda.
Second,
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's the last item of business. Is there anything else that anybody else wants to bring up or wants to discuss? Okay, if not, our next meeting will be in December. We've been trying to schedule them like the second Tuesday of the month, which would be December 13th. I mean, getting towards the end of the year, I know things get kind of crazy. Would you guys prefer the 13th, or we can move it up a week to the 6th as long as there's no other conflicts with like the YouTube page or anything like that?
I'm good either day.
I'm checking the YouTube page now.
Oh, thank you, Nina.
Guys, I'm good either day.
Either day is open for the YouTube page and for myself.
Okay, let's just stick to the 13th then. If that works. And yeah, so the next meeting then will be December 13th, 2022 at 1:30 p.m. So if there is nothing else coming before the board, I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we are adjourned. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
You also.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.